Hello! What is up? It has been such a long time since I have made a YouTube video, and I am so sorry about that. Alright, so as many of you know, I decided to pack up my stuff and move from North Carolina to Hawaii in July, and I moved back home, I guess towards the middle of November, something along those lines. And I moved back for a variety of different reasons, but one of the main reasons is because of my small business. My small business is registered in North Carolina, and it was really becoming a hard process to get a lot of the payment and the shipping stuff done with my manufacturer. My manufacturer is located in Bali, and it was just going to be a lot of extra money to get stuff shipped to Hawaii from Bali instead of just getting it shipped to the mainland. So that was one of the first issues. The second issue was that I really needed to deal with the financial side of my business. So that was open a bank account, get a business credit card, possibly get a loan. That was very hard for me to do in Hawaii just because there aren't many big like national banks in the island or on the island. They just have a lot of their local banks, and it was suggested and recommended to me to not do those things with just local banks. And if you hear like a horse galloping through the hallway, that is my cat. Life in Hawaii was really special. I wouldn't trade that experience for the whole wide world. I loved it there, but there are a lot of things that you need to think about definitely before you go and when you are there. And one of the number one things that really like touched me in a way that made me feel like I shouldn't be there was the fact that there's so many locals from the island that are struggling. There's so many locals that are struggling to have a house or to pay for groceries or to get jobs, and I just felt like I was almost taking away from someone. I just almost felt guilty for even being there long term. And I know to each their own, everyone can have their own opinion on it. That is just how I kind of felt, and I enjoyed my time there, and I do want to go back at some point in my life and maybe live there again for a few months, but I definitely could never make it a long-term thing just because of that one reason and some other reasons. But that was one thing that really weighed heavy on my heart. I think that I did a lot of research on it, so it just really laid heavy on my heart. So another thing that I realized about Hawaii that I didn't love per se was the fact that I lived in the city. I knew that Honolulu was a city, but I had no idea how big of a city that it was, and I just figured that this is the kitten. I don't know. Yeah, there she is. It was just way too city vibes for me. I am not from the city. I have always lived on the outskirts of cities. I live about 45 minutes away from the closest city here. Say hello. Hello. And if you see me looking over here, I have my phone set up. The main point of that is that I have never been from the city, and I have never seen myself living in a city. I just am not a big city girl, and living in Honolulu was a big change to that. So the first issue that I had was with transportation. When I first got to Hawaii, I was set on just using public transportation to get everywhere. I didn't want to buy a car. I didn't think I would need one. I just didn't really want to spend my money on a vehicle just for 6 months. I tried out the public transportation system, and everyone had told me that Hawaii's public transportation was like the best in the whole United States, and honestly that may still be true, but for me there were a lot of issues that I had with it. It just took so long. So I had a job at the Sunrise Shack. If you do not know what the Sunrise Shack is, if you look up acai bowls on Instagram, I'm sure it'll be the first thing that comes up. I guess I lived about 10 minutes away from the place, but I also had to walk like a mile to get there. Anyways, but if I took the bus, it would take me almost an hour to get to work. And that was something that I just could not take. It was just not working out for me. I also would have shifts at 5:30 in the morning, and the bus to figure that out was a disaster that early. And it was just really not the best time. I got lost more than once, like so many times I got lost. But I was trying to understand all the bus lingo, all the drop-off points. It's a lot to understand, especially if you don't have any prior knowledge of city life. and you don't have any prior knowledge of how buses work, I decided that it was going to be more beneficial for me to get a car because I would be able to take it to the beaches, I'd be able to go to the gym without it taking 2 hours, I'd be able to get to work on time, like I would be able to have more of my schedule on my terms and kind of do things that I wanted to do. So I got a car, and that's another story. I found a car. Well, my mom actually found me a car like in lightning speed. I don't know how she found it so fast, but she found me a car. It was pretty affordable for what it was, and I will put a picture of it in. It was so cute. It was a green Honda CR-V, a 2004. It was the most perfect like beach Hawaii vibe knock-around car ever. It had no AC. The doors didn't lock. It had like an ant infestation. Like, it was a mess of a car, but I loved it, and I was so grateful to have a car. So, have a car now. Everything really got better transportation wise, but then the next problem arose that I guess comes with city life that I really wasn't aware of to the full extent, was that parking is a pain in the booty. Parking is such a pain in the ass. And I got towed once. When my roommate was driving my car, she got towed, and it was a whole disaster. I got maybe like 3 parking tickets. Yeah, it was just crazy how many issues I had with parking. And at my apartment complex, there wasn't enough parking spots for the residents, and my car had a leak, so I couldn't park in the parking spot because it was making a mess. So I had to just rely on street parking, and street parking wasn't that bad once I got the hang of it. I actually didn't mind it at all, and I got to practice my parallel parking skills because now I am a queen of parallel parking. But there in the beginning, it was a pain because there was like this strip of parking spots that are like so nice because they're right in front of where you need to walk in. But those said parking spots, you could only park from, it's like certain times on certain days. So it was on weekdays, so school days, from 6:30 to 8, I think, you had to move your car and you couldn't park there. So on days that I had to go to work at 5:30 in the morning, it was a great option. Anyways, I'm complaining a lot, but I'm just trying to be real with you guys about like those first struggles that I had when I first got there. August was really a hard month for me, I would say, or I guess a lot of new things that I just wasn't fully used to, and I enjoyed that, and I'm really grateful for those experiences because I got to learn a lot, and I got to learn a lot about Hawaiian culture and also about like Japanese culture and stuff like that. Like, I am very grateful for all of it, and you know, everything comes as a learning curve for people, and going there was the best way for me to learn those things because I might have not learned them any other times. What I really did enjoy about Hawaii was the fact that obviously there's an ocean. Going swimming, just sitting out, just watching it, taking pictures, everything was so amazing. And I really will miss that because here, although I do love North Carolina as well, where I live in North Carolina, there's not a lot of beautiful scenery around. Maybe some cows and some fields. There is the coast of North Carolina, which I absolutely adore and I think is so beautiful. And there's something about small beach towns that like have my heart. I love a small local beach town more than anything on this earth. So having that little small homey feel on the coast of North Carolina is something that I love. And we also have the mountains, which is also beautiful. And that's another thing that I will miss about Hawaii is all the hiking in the beautiful freaking mountains. I never imagined that they would be as beautiful as they were. And the hikes that I went on to see them were absolutely insane. I'm gonna miss those things, just being able to get up and being like, okay, we're gonna drive 45 minutes to the other side of the island, go on this hike, and then we're gonna come back and chill for the rest of the day. Like, it was just a really fun thing to be able to do because here, from where I live, it's a 4-hour drive to get to the beach, and it's like a 2-hour drive to get to the mountains. It's not as easy, not as accessible, and like I said, I love being in nature, and I love being able to walk out of my front door and the beach be right there, or walk out of my front door and the mountains be right there. Whenever you're traveling and you go to a new place that's a big travel destination, and you meet people that are kind of your age, it's like you know that they're there for relatively the same reasons that you're there. And there is a huge college scene in Hawaii, especially in the Honolulu area, because there's 2 colleges there. There are a handful of people that are just there to travel and that, you know, are only there for a temporary amount of time. But sorry, my cat's eating. All these cats doing cat things. It was just cool because you meet like-minded people a lot of the time, and you make connections with people that, you know, will be lifelong, and you'll be able to travel with them again soon. And I don't know, it's always nice that I'm gonna have a bit of Hawaii with me, and I'm gonna have a bit of those people still there if I ever go back. But I do want to apologize because I did want to show more of my life in Hawaii. I just did not film as much as I intended to, and I don't know if that was just because I was working a lot or if it was just because I tried to be more in the moment. I'm not sure, but lucky for you guys, I am going back to Hawaii for 10 days in December, so I am going to plan to film that whole entire trip, but I'm also going with one of my dear friends, so we're gonna get into some really fun stuff. As for what I'm doing right now is I'm simply chilling. I'm kind of in a place where I'm a little bit confused on what's next. I don't really know what's next, and I think that I really need to take a step back and reevaluate and recenter myself. I have been a little discombobulated. I want to continue to travel, and I don't know. I'm very open to anything that comes my way. I have some ideas of where I want to go and where I may want to be, but again, I am open to anything that comes, and I'm excited for what is to come. But as of now, I am staying at home rent-free so I can save some money up and save for my next travel thing. And also, I'm really focusing on my business. Like I said earlier, I'm in the prime time for stuff to be sent to me, samples and stuff like that, so I can start the first campaign and really get that on a roll and start designing for my next launch. So yeah, all these things, big things are kind of happening. I'm also still in school, so I'm trying to finish school out. There's a lot of ego that I need to get rid of surrounding being back at home. I need to accept that that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I really just need to be grateful for it, be grateful to spend time with my parents, be grateful to have a house to live in, and just calm down and not be so focused on what's next and really just be present with what's happening right now. So that's kind of the task at hand for me. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this little video. I know it was just a lot of talking and stuff like that, but I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you guys are excited to see the vlog for Hawaii. I hope that it will be good. I promise that I will actually film it, and I will actually edit it, and I will actually let you guys see it. But for now, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I love you all so much, and I'm so grateful that you decided to tune in to this little talk of mine, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.